Hello, lovely people. Welcome to our weekly reading for the week of the 9th of January 2023. I'm still a little bit new to this whole New Year thing. I hope you've had a good first week of the year and are interested and looking forward to seeing what this week's reading is going to bring us. So let us have a look. Okay, I'm back to using the Rider-Waite deck. So let's have a look at that. Right, let's have a look. Let's see. Nice card to start off with. So we've got Strength, which is a major arcana card. And then we have the Four of Pentacles, which is a minor arcana card. And we have the Tower. How interesting. Okay, right. So I think what's interesting about looking at these cards is that normally I would start from left to right, but actually I think we've got two very, very strong major arcana cards here at the end, sandwiching the Four of Pentacles. And if you remember, the major arcana cards are what kind of like, it's very much about our psyche, what drives us, what's behind our behavior, and the minor arcana cards are about our behavior. So, okay, right. So, well, let's just very quickly run through what these cards are. So, Strength is very much about patience, it's about willpower, it's about control. But if you look here at the card, you can see that the type of control here is very gentle, it's a compassionate kind of control. And this card is very much about inner strength. And this card is telling us that inner strength needs to be exercised on a daily basis. Now, the lion in this card represents our lower selves, our lower impulses, if you like. So this line represents your fear, anger, desire, bad habits, and out of control behavior. So and what this lovely lady is doing here is that she is mastering her lower impulses using inner strength. And if you look at this sign ahead, over her head, this is the infinity sign. Now this sign is telling us that she is eternally confronting her lower impulses. And because it's a habit, her strength is part of her, because it's been habitually reinforced by confronting and overcoming weaknesses every day. So with this card, with this card, I want to tell you that strength is a choice. So you can choose to stay stuck or to be afraid, or you can choose to confront whatever it is that's that's in your way of being your best self. So, and when you are eternally, so when you are every day exercising ways and means of developing your inner strength, it becomes easier. So it's you just need to sort of think of something that you don't want to do and you don't like doing, but you kind of know that you really ought to be doing it because it's going to make your life better. It's going to be better for you if you do it. If you keep putting it off, it just gets harder and harder to do that. However, if you just kind of you take the bull by the horns, if you like, or the lion in this case, and just do it, make it a habit, then it will become much easier because you will be practicing it daily. Now, when you're like this, you start to make self-directed good decisions, and these decisions do get easier because they're practiced daily. And so when this card comes up in a reading, it is telling you that you're more powerful than you give yourself credit for, because we all know that behaviors can be hard to change, but you do have the ability to face life's difficult circumstances and create change with hope. And that's what this card is telling you. You have the strength to face your inner fears, and but you must acknowledge the lion. You must acknowledge your lower impulses in order to be able to balance them and overcome them. So this is the first card here. Now this brings us on to the Four of Pentacles. The Pentacles are about material, wealth, property, careers, financial things. They're very much about those things that we need to make us feel safe. That we like a house and a job and things like that. So when the Four of Pentacles comes up, it's saying that there is material security and stability going on here. So there is very much a sense of stability. And it's saying that you need to balance your material expectations against the needs of your authentic self. And that's the really key word here, is authentic. Because if you're using your possessions to structure your life, or maybe to shield yourself emotionally, then you're putting yourself in a situation where you're never going to feel good enough, or in a situation where somebody else is always going to have the power to take away what you've got. And so this is very much about listening to your authentic self and the needs of your true nature. So because your true nature, your true security can only be found within you. And now what I think is really fascinating here is that this card is linked very much to this card. It's linked to the Tower. The Tower card is about transformation. It's a very energetic card, as you can see, and it's about inspiration. It's very much a test of faith. And this the message of this card can show itself by bringing you news, for instance, something happening in your life that's going to turn your world upside down. So if you're going to have to look at your life from a whole new perspective. And this is really what these figures are symbolizing here, that sense of falling out of an ivory tower that you've created for yourself, and needing to look at your life from a whole new place. You need to change your understanding of something or someone, and it's about shaking you loose of old bad habits. And isn't that amazing how that goes back to this one, goes back here to this card of strength. And so this card, the Tower, symbolizes great breakthrough, which we would know as enlightenment. And it's saying, life will present you with some sudden unexpected change. Now, that can happen in really where the area where that is likely to happen is the area where you are not being true to your authentic self, which is why this card is often linked to this card. And so if, for instance, if you were looking at finances, for instance, the Tower would suggest that you don't invest at this time, because sudden changes in circumstances are likely to leave your investment possibly decimated. So, the stock market these days is all over the place, and this card is saying that it's probably going to take a tumble, most likely going to take a tumble. And so this is not a good time to, to invest. Now, the Four of Pentacles is very much as well. It's excuse me. This card is very much about caution with your finances. So it's saying, it symbolizes good financial prospects and material security. However, it does exercise caution to be conservative with your money at this time. So I think, I think it's really thought-provoking, actually, that these three cards have come up for this week, because, this card is saying, drop your old habits, and create new habits. And if you exercise these new habits on a daily basis, your new habits will become easier and you will make much better self-directed decisions. And that you will have the strength to deal with things that change. And this card is exercising caution, and this card is saying, you're in a good place materially, like in terms of your home and your house and your stability. But are you being true to yourself? Are you being true to your authentic self? And if you're needing to say, for instance, to be validated by others, well, these are just lies, really, because if you're needing to be validated by other people, then, well, just imagine how quickly that can be taken from you. And you're always going to feel like you don't measure up. So it's not about seeking security in something or someone outside of yourself. It's it's very much about finding that within yourself. And really and truly, if you have that sense within yourself, no matter how much money or how little money you have, it will make no difference, because this is where your riches really lie. And this card is telling you, really, if you don't do this, if you don't look to your authentic self, if you don't meet the needs of your true self, then something is going to happen here to force you to do that, if you like, because it's going to force you to changing your life. And it can be shocking and it can be disruptive and upsetting, but it's sometimes, we don't often volunteer to do things differently until something kind of makes us want to do that. And this is a card that's saying, do it, and this is happening slightly in your future. This is your present, and this is what's bringing you into your present. So this is where you need to be working on yourself here, to whatever changes are going to take place, that they won't be as raw, if you like. They won't be as violent, if you like. If the thing. Now, I don't like to leave the Tower card on its own. So I'm going to take, I'm going to look at see what the next card is that comes after that, because I'm just really interested to see, what will follow the Tower. Where is it leading to? So, what exactly is it talking about? So let's have a look, see what the next card is that was on the, okay, that stopped me in my tracks a little bit. So here we have the Death card. And I just want to say, this is fascinating. This is really fascinating. Because the Death card is, we have three major arcana cards here. And the Death card is about surrendering. It's about surrendering to life, surrendering to a higher force that's at work. So a lot of people are frightened of this card because they think it means to literally die. But of course, it doesn't mean to literally die in the way people think. It's about death of a cycle, death of a chapter. It's the end of something. And it is about change. And what can I say? Nobody really, wants to change their lives. We tend to get, we do want to change our lives, but those of us that, for instance, need to change our lives often don't want to. You know, you have people that are very willing to change their lives, and therefore change is not an issue for them. But if you're unwilling to change your life, this is where you go back here to this card is telling you to be true to your authentic self. This card is telling you you have the ability to create new behaviors, new habits to make that happen. This card is telling you if you don't do the work here, we're going to the universe is going to throw something your way that is going to change your perspective. It's going to turn your world upside down. And this card is saying it really, you know, you have no choice. This is the path. And so this is about, death is about completing a chapter, a cycle in your life. And it's very much a natural change point. So it's a change that's kind of expected, but it's absolutely necessary. And what is being replaced, so you would replace, what is being replaced would be more appropriate than what you've been dealing with. And by the way, this card is an absolute no when it comes to financial investments. So take heed of these three cards. Do take heed of these three cards. And this card is telling you have the ability to take all of this on. And so, you know, when this card is coming up, like, I'm going to ask you, like, what old, unneeded part of yourself are you resistant to letting go of? Even though you know that releasing that part would set you free. And so it's absolutely thought-provoking, this. I'm so fascinated by this reading this week, because these are big things that are happening. And this card, death, it if you look at the colours here, you've got white, both of them are very much got white in them. And this is very much about purity of thought. And then there's a lot of yellow dominating in these cards as well, and in this card, and in this one. And yellow is very much about clarity of thought. And these are two qualities that will enable you to transform more gracefully. And death is what teaches us how to surrender gracefully to change, because change is life's only certainty. And we are constantly changing. We are constantly dying. Every day we're dying. Something is the end of a book, the end of a film, goodbye, you go to sleep, good night, wake up in the morning, it's a whole new day. So, just think of death as a cycle. And in the context of here, this card is telling you that what is taken away from you here you will be provided with something that's far more appropriate. So, wow, I could go on for such a long time with these cards. I find them spectacular. And so, wow, guys, this is the end of our reading for this week. And if it resonates with you, do leave me a comment below. You can subscribe to my channel to be notified for the next reading. And if you would like to know more, you can book a private reading with me. I would love to hear from you. You can find my email address in the description of the video. You know what? I love this. I absolutely love this set of cards. I love it. So much happening here. And I love that this card is so reassuring to start with. It's saying, wow, you have the strength. And this card is saying, be true to yourself. Oops, you're going to have to be, because if you're not, this is going to happen. And this card is saying, but don't worry, because everything is going to be fine. It's a whole new cycle of life. And turn it into its circle, you have the strength. Brilliant, brilliant set of cards for this week. So lovely people, I look forward to seeing you again next week. Meanwhile, lots of love.